Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and today it is my sad duty, I'm afraid, to talk about RiME on the Nintendo Switch. And yeah, it is a sad duty. RiME is a game that came out a while ago on the Xbox One and PS4 and PC and all that good stuff, but they said it was coming to Switch, and they sort of spent around 6 months doing something. Now, it's safe to say that the game has a few little niggles here and there, despite the fact that it's, generally fairly simple in terms of visual style, although it is stunning, don't get me wrong, it is absolutely stunning. For some reason, it doesn't seem to run very well on anyone's machine, whether it's a console or a PC with maxed out specs or anything like that. Just for some reason, it seems to be incredibly hungry for things, processors. But with its simple visual style and 6 extra months to work on the Switch version, does it at least run well on the Switch, maybe with lower settings or 720p or so? No. To be perfectly honest, RiME on the Nintendo Switch runs, if you'll pardon my French, like absolute bums. I actually played the Xbox One version as well to give myself a sort of a benchmark before I properly played the Switch version, so I knew what I was getting in for, and the Xbox One version is a little bit spotty here and there. There are various instances of slowdown and dropped frames and all that sort of thing, so I knew roughly what to expect with the Switch. I thought, is it gonna be like this? Just blurrier? I honestly wish I was just seeing a few drops here and there, a few frames missed out, because every game does it pretty much except probably Splatoon 2. But no, there were various points when playing where honestly the frames per second was going down. It honestly could have been in single digits. It's really, really awful. Now, I'm not one of these people that absolutely has to have 4K 60 frames a second or 120 frames a second to even consider a game to be playable. I'm just not that kind of guy. I will happily play, I happily played Splatoon on the original Wii U, and it was only 720p. If a game's good and the gameplay makes up for it, visual and sort of graphical stuff is it's kind of inconsequential to me. But the problem with RiME is that the whole game is based around its visuals. It's designed to be a sort of a wondrous new world. It's supposed to be an engagement of the senses. It's supposed to sound wonderful, which, well, it does. It sounds wonderful. And it's supposed to grip you. It's supposed to engross you. It's supposed to suck you in and make you feel like you're in an entirely new world and tell an interesting story and really engage you. But when you're getting frame rates like this, it just totally rips you out of the experience. It reminds you that this isn't real. Immediately your brain's going, why is that dropping like that? And I know, part of it might be because I've got, sort of a semi-analytical brain when it comes to games. I'm no digital foundry, it's true, but nevertheless, I see things, I notice frame drops, I notice frame rate increases and weird things like that, and even screen tearing. But when you get frame rates like this, you just can't fail to notice. The Switch is a weaker system, it's true, and so you can't expect the same kind of performance. But even so, they seem to have stripped out a lot of the additional extra stuff like foliage and things like that, which again, sort of, okay, fine, you're trying to get it to run on the Switch. It's basically a tablet in terms of form factor, so of course there are going to have to be some sacrifices. I accept that. But I think there's something inherently wrong with the way that RiME is made that means that it just basically is almost an impossible feat to get it running on the Switch and get it running properly. I don't know, maybe if you gave it a panic button they could do it. Because yes, of course I'm going to draw the comparison to the very recent release Doom on the Nintendo Switch, which runs at 720p, 30 frames a second, and it has the occasional dip, but overall it looks so much better and runs so much better than RiME. RiME is running on a very, very simple visual style, much like, and a lot of comparisons to this have been drawn already, The Wind Waker. But the thing is, The Wind Waker did it as a way to be able to do more with the world, and also there was just, some sort of artistic choice in there. But for some reason, RiME can't even do that. I mean, it sounds like I'm being really needlessly picky or I'm being needlessly cruel, but I'm not. I understand that there are probably dozens, maybe even several more people who've worked on this game and specifically this port and have poured their hearts and souls into it to try and make it the best that it can be, but unfortunately it just isn't what everyone wants. To be honest, I feel badly most for the devs, because clearly this is a passion project. There is so much love and care and attention that has gone into the game, but it just doesn't seem to deliver when it comes to trying to run on the Switch. On the Xbox One, it just about works, and if you're wondering why I'm always talking about the Xbox One and not like the PlayStation or the PC, it's because I bought an Xbox One, because I wanted Halo. What a mistake that was. But Alex, I hear you say, does it at least run a little bit better in portable mode? There are some games that do. No, it's much worse. It's really not easy to show you because obviously you can't capture the Switch in portable mode, but if you look here you can see that everything looks kind of blurry. It almost looks like what I've been filming is out of focus, but then if I open up the quick menu, you can see that in fact it is purely sharply in focus. It just is this blurry. Honestly, it's a little bit heartbreaking because I was really looking forward to RiME. It just looked like a fun, enjoyable, extremely charming adventure experience. But sadly, it rips you out every time. Every time you see a stutter or a dropped, 18 frames, it just immediately pulls you out and pulls you back into the real world. And you just can't sink yourself into it in the way that this game really deserves. But at least with all the downscaled textures and stuff like that, it's going to be a nice small file size, because the Xbox One version is what, 4.5 gigabyte? And this one is, what? Over 7 gigabytes. I mean, the Xbox One version looks much, much better. And it's actually smaller than the Switch version? What's going on here? I don't know why these things are happening. I'm not a game developer. I've never developed a game in my entire life. So I don't know why RiME runs so badly on so many systems, including the Switch. And I can't understand why the file size on the Switch is larger than the better looking version. Maybe there is a perfectly reasonable explanation for it all. But to be honest, from a consumer point of view, it's just not good enough. I'm really disappointed, but honestly, I can't recommend RiME on the Nintendo Switch at all. It runs so poorly, and everything looks so muddy, it isn't an enjoyable experience. The whole point of RiME is it's supposed to be this beautiful, wonderful, engaging, engrossing game. And when it runs like this, it's anything but. You'd think if it can be done with Doom, it could be done with RiME, but this is what we've been given. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you stutter and start all the way to that subscribe button, and be sure to check out nintendolife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.